Let's catch up on some hand lettering practice. Hi everyone, this is Angie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here today, I welcome you and I hope you'll stick around. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here. Guys, we are long overdue for catching up on lettering for the March weekly layouts in my hand lettering practice planner. So I thought today I would try to at least film one. I'm going to try to do 2 spreads in one video, but if it gets too long, I'll cut it off after the first one and I'll do a second video for the second one. So normally I pull several pins from multiple manufacturers, but today I thought we'd keep things simple and I've pulled the Mardi Pen Flex pins that I thought would coordinate with the Mardi Gras week. And then for writing down the names of who the quotes are attributed to, or actually for Mardi Gras, I don't have names. Instead, I have words associated to the holiday. So for those, I'm going to use these Sparkle Pop pens. So anyway, I thought we would go ahead and get started. These are some fairly short quotes. Now, I will warn y'all, a lot of my viewers like for me to show this film or this video in real time. But since I am going to try to do two, I may speed this one up just a little bit. If I don't, but you would prefer it to be faster, if you'll click on the little gear in the bottom right side of your screen, you can speed up the video on your own. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started, and we will just see where we go from there. Now this pen here is a little more of a turquoise color. It's not an exact match. So I probably won't put that with my green. So I think I'll go ahead and start with this yellow color. But for this quote, oh, and I forgot to tell y'all, I did a Google search for Mardi Gras sayings or quotes, and all of these came up on the Good Housekeeping website. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first one we're going to letter here says, time to get the Mardi started. So let's go ahead and get to it. Well, that was just a simple little quote there. And I thought that was a good one to start off with. So I'm going to set this pen aside and I will grab the next one, which I think is going to be a dark green. And for this one, we're going to write feeling jazzy, dressing snazzy. I wasn't too sure on this one exactly how to proceed, especially with this double Z. That kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. Okay, so next up we've got red beans, rice, and everything nice. I feel like I'm having a hard time getting my thin ups today, so I'll have to work a little harder on that. Okay, let's come back, or while we're still on this page, let's go ahead and add in some of our fun little words. These are just going to be some words that are related to New Orleans experiences. So for this one, we're going to write Big Easy. And this is just a Jelly Roll metallic pen. It doesn't say which size it is. It's probably a 08. Okay, and then for down here, let's try this pink pen and see if we can write the word beads. This pen was giving me a problem earlier today. Looks like it's ready to go now. I do like to practice my hand lettering with pens, because then you don't really have to worry so much about the thin up and thick down. You're just going through the motions of, you know, getting the shapes of the words down. Okay, and then over here, let's try, now I know that I don't really have any orange on here, but I was running short on which of my pens wanted to work. Some of these are the Pentel Sparkle Pop. These are the bold. So on this one, I thought we would write down gumbo, since we're talking about the red beans and rice. And I love these sparkle pens, or the Sparkle Pop. And I just wanted to buy regular ones, but somehow I wound up buying a set that has extra color on the edges. I don't know if you can see it here on the word gumbo. It's almost like there's an outline. So that was a little surprise. All right, let's move on to the next page. I think we're going pretty quick today. This one, we're going to write down jumping for jambalaya. Okay, and you can see on this one, I forgot to come up higher with my ascenders on my B and my L. All right, so over here, let's see, let's go ahead and write, how about crawfish? That's another wonderful thing when you're down in New Orleans. We eat a lot of crawfish here. Oh, it might be a tight squeeze with this bold pen. Okay, that's cute. All right, and we're down to our last Mardi Le Pen Flex. So I'll have to grab one of my colors from the other page to finish off my quotes. On this one, if you're familiar with the movie Roadhouse, then this term will sound familiar to you. Nobody puts baby in a king cake. I thought that was pretty funny. So I'm going to put that one here. And I'll have to try to work on my proportions a little better. Okay, I guess I didn't really, get that lined up exactly right. So it's a little crowded down here towards the bottom. Okay, let's use a green pen on this one and let's write the word float. Uh-oh, this pen is not wanting to cooperate. Let me see if I have some scratch paper. There we go. Sometimes these things get a little moody. All right, that's pretty, but I kind of wish I would have chosen a different color because I didn't realize how similar it was to this one up here. All right, so for the last quote, this one says, "It's been yay too long." So I thought that was pretty cute too. I like that these are shorter because we can get through them a little faster. These would have been some good words to practice some flourishes with, or good quotes to practice with since they're so short. Okay, let's see. For this one, what do we have? I don't think we have bayou yet. I say bio. Some people say bayou. I guess it's kind of like pecan, pecan, whatever works for you. Okay, this pen looks like it's got a little glob. All right, let's see. We were going to write bayou. The surprise on this pen is that the sparkles are actually blue and the outline is purple. I don't know if y'all can see that. Okay, so that takes care of Mardi Gras week. I thought those were some fun little words, some simple quotes. Since I was running behind, I didn't want to pick out anything that was going to be too time consuming, but I do think we have time to go on and move to the next spread. And the next spread was for Plant a Flower Day. So I'm going to switch out my pens. We're going to move from the Mardi Le Pen Flex and the Sparkle Pops over to the Right Tech sign brush pens. And these are from the Vintage Colors collection that I picked up on Amazon a while back. And all of these pens today are small brush pens because for me, that's what works best in the amount of space that we have in the Happy Planner horizontal layout. So I think I am going to go ahead and move this page off to the side, and we will come back and have a look at that when we finish all of the quotes. Okay, so when I Googled these quotes, I Googled quotes related to Plant a Flower Day, and I pulled all of these from the same site. It was bloommaker.com if you're interested, in looking there yourself for some quotes. So the first one we're going to start with says, "Life is the flower for which love is the honey," and that's by Victor Hugo. And hopefully I'm starting to get a little warmed up now and I won't be so shaky. I definitely have the shakes today. And I can tell it when I try to do my upstrokes. So that one, I guess, went a little better. Okay, for this quote, or for the person's name, Victor Hugo, I'm going to try to use this Jelly Roll Metallic. I'm not sure if this one is working. I guess we will find out. I hope it is because I really like these metallic pens. Okay, that worked. And it's supposed to be a black metallic, but it looks a little more gray on the page. Okay, so let's move on. And this next quote is going to say, "Earth laughs in flowers." And we've all heard that one several times before. That's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I should have brought that down here. I like the ink color, but not too pleased with the way that lettering came out. And I don't know if his whole name is going to fit in this little box. I mean, I'm sure it won't because this is a very thick pen. Let's put his name down here, I guess. And maybe we'll come back and put something else there. So we don't need to put a quote on the 12th because that was when Plant a Flower Day actually occurred. So we're going to hop down here to the 13th, and this quote is a little bit longer. I hope I can make it fit. This one is happiness held is the seed, happiness shared is the flower, and that's by John Harrigan. So that one barely fit, but we got it in there. And again, that was John Harrigan. This pen is trying to skip out on me in multiple areas. So that doesn't look so great right there, but this time it was the pen's fault. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, let's grab the next page so that we can move on to the 14th, and then we'll come back and we'll look at those all together. So I think this time I'll pull this darker shade of blue, or actually, let's pull this tan color. These pens don't have colors written on them. So this one is by Lady Bird Johnson. We've all heard it before, and we've been seeing it in tons of our sticker books. This is Where Flowers Bloom, So Does Hope. And I can see I've got some bleed through here from the St. Patrick's Week is on the other side of this page. So I'm really hoping that Happy Planner will either make their paper better or I can find a different disc bound planner where I can do my practicing in, because I have plenty of Rhodia tablets and nicer paper. I just want to keep these in my planner is the reason I'm using this Happy Planner paper. So we may end up having to change that up later on. But for today, let's just go ahead and keep on with our quotes. And I hope y'all are lettering along with me so that we can all practice together. Okay. That's all right. Okay, and that again was Lady Bird Johnson. Okay, this pen is still acting crazy, but I don't want to put it away since I've only got 2 boxes left. Okay, so next up for the 15th is Flowers Don't Tell, They Show. And that's by Stephanie Scheme. I like that one. All right, we are getting there, guys. We are in the home stretch. Okay, again, that was Stephanie Scheme. Oh gosh, her name might not fit. I don't know how we're gonna squeeze her name in here, but we'll try. Okay, that was definitely a squeeze, but we made it. Okay, this next one is by a guy you all may have heard of. It says, "Love is the flower you've got to let grow," and that is by John Lennon. I like this ink color on this orange pen. Okay, let's get John's name up here. Oh my gosh, this pen. That is messy, but it couldn't be helped. Okay, guys, so we have made it to the final quote, and this one says, "Politeness is the flower of humanity," and that's by Joseph Joubert. All right, so let's write down Joseph's name, and then we'll be ready to put these back in the book. Now, I hope this pen acts right. Okay, that was a little touch and go. All right, so I am happy to say that we have now completed 2 weeks worth of lettering. Hopefully, I can get those other last 2 weeks of March done very soon. I do think that I have chosen my quotes for that. I just need to choose my pens and sit down and get those filmed. We need to put something here. What are we going to put there? Let's just write the word seeds, maybe. Again, the crazy pen. All right, guys, let's get these completed spreads back on the discs, and then we will take a final look and see what we think. So I feel like that wasn't really too painful doing 2 in a row. Okay, guys, so here are the little phrases I chose for Mardi Gras week. I purposely chose short, simple things because I knew that I was running behind, and I really wanted to get this caught up for you guys. And I would say out of this whole page, my favorites are probably the orange pen that I used to write gumbo and the golden yellow that I used to write crawfish. So I just wanted to show y'all these pens close up. I picked these up in a multi-pack on Amazon, and these are Pentel Sparkle Pop Bold, and they end with the number K91. I don't know if y'all can see that. But these are great. Like I said, they did come in a multi-pack, and they were not really expensive, maybe $10 or $12. I don't remember. But anyway, that was a good little investment. And the surprise on that was, like I said earlier, some of the pens seem to have like a colored trim. Like on the purple pen here, you clearly would expect this to be purple ink, but when it comes out, it's blue ink with purple trim. So anyway, that was a nice little surprise, and I thought these were pretty fun and silly. So for the next week, on March the 12th was Plant a Flower Day, and for these, we used the pack of the Right Tech sign brush pens, also from Amazon. This pack was in the Vintage Colors collection. And then to write the names, I used a Jelly Roll Metallic, which I thought was going to be black and sparkly, but it really turned out to be more of a gray, and it didn't work all that wonderfully. But it could be because it's an older pen. But anyway, guys, I hope that y'all enjoyed this Letter With Me video. Hopefully y'all are keeping up with your practice. And yeah, let me know how it's going for y'all. I have been keeping up with decorating my spreads. I'm just seem to be a little slow at getting back to completing them, but I do want to come back soon and film St. Patrick's Day for y'all and Purple Day. And so I should have that video up before too much longer, maybe in about a week or so. So anyway, y'all be sure and check back and follow along with me, and let's keep our practice up. So thanks again, guys, for joining me today. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. If you've been hanging around and you enjoy my videos, but you haven't yet subscribed, please go on and hit that subscribe button and be sure to turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.